I'm Jenny-Lynn Turcotte from HypnoCoach.ca, and welcome to my series 6+1 Lesson I've Learned Since I Became a Hypnotherapist. Today we're going to share a very controversial topic. I'm going to talk about givers. But before I do that, as you know, I do help people who are in transitions to move from point A to point B without years and months of therapy. Soon enough in my practice, very early on and until yesterday, I have people that I consider as givers, people who always want to help others, people who want to give, people who have great aspirations of contributions in life coming to me. Most of the time, it starts this way. I'm exhausted. I have no energy. People are so demanding. People, they all expect me to do this, to do that. My family is expecting me to organize all the parties of the family. My family is expecting me to drive them everywhere, to take care of my mother, as they don't. My brothers and sisters, my siblings, they don't. At work, they're expecting me to be available 24/7. They're expecting me to go out in the weekend, and I'm so exhausted, and I'm so tired of it, and I just can't handle it anymore. But I don't know the way out. And this goes on and on in most of the time, every aspect of their life. Some of the time, these people have had a career change already. They went into helping others, being a coach or a therapist. That's very common. So they took a course to become a coach, a therapist, a giver, and then they find themselves exhausted, completely exhausted. So there's a good news and there's a bad news. The good news is that there's great pride and there's a great contribution to this world that givers are giving, obviously. And then the other side of it is that the cost of it on themselves and on others is very high. So acquiring balance as a giver, being a balanced giver, is something very important. So what are the beliefs do you think the givers have? Because as you know, the work that I do is we go and see what are the core beliefs that leads to emotion, that leads to actions, that leads to events, right? What we see about givers are the actions. Those are come bright and shiny because they're all over and they're always asking you if you need anything, if they can do something for you. So we always are aware of the actions of the givers, but we're rarely aware of their emotions and even less of their core beliefs. So one of the core beliefs, of course, is if I don't give of myself, of my time, of my resources, I won't be loved. So I am not lovable, just being myself. I only get love if I give. So that's a big one. And that's almost every time this one comes up. And so the change is, of course, is I am lovable, I am enough. And I am lovable just because I am me. And even if I don't give, that's fine. I'm still lovable. And that's a hard one to crack because people who are givers, natural givers, are really have the tendency to believe that if they don't give, they won't get loved. So that's a tricky one, but that's the first one. And then there's another one that's very insidious, is to believe that others can't make it on their own, that others absolutely need their help to succeed, to thrive, to just go by. Often these people have had parents who were unhappy, that they try to make happy, were never able to make their parents happy if they're unhappy parents or depressed parents. And so the belief is, I'm not good enough to make my parents happy, I'll make other people happy, because they can't, they don't have the resources, they're helpless. So one of the things that I work with my clients who are givers, who have the belief that others can't make it on their own, is to integrate the belief that others are big enough, they're adult, they're mature, they can absolutely find resources and tools on their own. That's another tough one, because that idea that if I go, if I give, if I fix, if I heal, people will love me, I will get the love, they absolutely need me. It's another hard one to crack. But once you look at it and say, wow, people around me, they're mature, they're adult, they're absolutely capable on their own. It's their responsibility to find the right tools, the right people to have them. Then there's a big relief. What comes out of those two, and I'm going to talk mainly about those two because they're very central, and they're very difficult to change at the first sight of it when people realize that. But then once we do the work, they see how fun it is to let go of it, to let go of having to give to get the love, wanting to help everybody, thinking that they can't make it on their own. So what's left? It's time. So all the time those givers were giving to others. All the time they were spending, fixing, healing, trying to find solutions for people who sometimes don't even want to heal, don't even want to be better. All that energy and time now is less, is rest with them. And they absolutely need to do something constructive with it. So the first thing we do is self-care. So I do really teach to my givers to self-care. And I talk about conscious self-care. This is what I do for me because I deserve it. And also because by giving and helping, they're exhausted and their energy is out. So it's about filling their own cup and understanding that you can't give from an empty cup. You have to be filled up yourself to be able to give the overflow to others. So once they start taking responsibility for themselves, healing themselves, loving themselves, self-caring for themselves, letting others dealing with their own issue, helping them when they need to, but being able to recognize who's going to really benefit from their help and whose is only giving and giving for no reasons and not even a demand or a real need. That is the biggest change. It's a fundamental change. And this is when some coaches that have taken the coaching courses or therapist course decide that they will use those skills in a different setting. Example, they won't start a business because they don't want to do that full time, but they will use it in where they are already, and they're going to coach and mentor and help people. Or other venues. So sometimes they will start their business, but then they will understand that they cannot fix everybody, and that certainly not everybody wants to heal, and that's certainly not everybody wants to help, right? So that they need to have discernments and be filling their own cup first so that they can help others. So that was a big finding for me, that universe of people or natural givers, and help them really focus back on themselves, on filling up their own cup and discerning where and how they should be giving, investing, and helping others, and that others can absolutely also help themselves. Voilà, Jeanne-Hélène Turcotte, hypnocoach.ca.